crowned over my everything, and well, see, I'd be the reason for his swagger, the taste in each swallow and the cuts in his dagger. I'd be the dots on his eye and the cross in his T. I'd be the inhale, he'd be the exhale. There's no him without me. I want a man, but not just any man. God made, divinely crafted, and just for me. Shabazz, I want, I need, I feel, I crave a man. This man, my man. Y'all all right?
And it has some of the people. Freddie's in the book in one of the chapters. He probably didn't know that, but basically what I do is I take some of the characters that are real life and I imagine them and I make them characters and I put them in my book. Herb jokes with me. He asked me a description of the female star in the book. And I guess, any of you guys ever seen Melanie Dutton? Yeah. Okay. She would probably be a 5'10" version of Melanie, to give you some kind of idea of who the heroine is. Basically. It is a good book. It has, romance. It has a little bit of poetry. Some of the poems start at the beginning of the chapter. It goes into, but it is very much a novel. It is an interesting read, and I am particularly proud of it. Unfortunately, I knew when I tasted her, it was a mistake born of loneliness and stupidity. Errantly, I pursued lustful thoughts of you, and I sought to juxtapose those and the feelings on a woman who was more than eager for me to please you, just as I had pleased you so many times before. Except, you weren't there and she was. And like a drunken fool, I tried to pretend you were her. Under candlelight through midnight, we dined and drank from each other's rhetoric, all the while building anticipation as to what was going to take place next. Good conversation aside, she knew she wasn't there for her winning personality. In truth, I was trying to prostitute myself with her to forget the memory of you. And I was a good harlot too. I kissed her delicately on the neck, all the way to the top to the back of her spine. I took my time going there, running my hands through her hair, just as I had pulled you close so many times before. Except she didn't respond like you. You know how you used to cool my ear to let me know I was really putting it on you? I mean, she sort of shimmied for my touch, which is cool because she let me know I was doing it for her too, except I had really wanted her to coo, just like you. With the music of Prince in the background, I was given added motivation to continue my reckless quest. I unbuttoned her dress to reveal treasures hidden by the restraints of her conservative nature. Along with me, she went from 0 to 60, a nun into a temptress who seemingly promised to be the freak I had always desired. And then, that's when I had a flashback. For a moment, I thought it was your flesh underneath that dress and the red and broad panty set. Then reality set in, and I realized that I was here with a stranger. Though this woman and I knew each other from countless conversations, she was as foreign to me as to someone from overseas. You see, my mindset was on you as everything else that now protruded on my body. You had my heart, And even in something as visceral as sex, I could not escape the hold you had over me. And you know, that made me sort of angry. And I ain't gonna lie, I struck back at you by going into her. And I mean, I went hard. All the passion I had thought of showering you with landed on her. The dress fell on the floor and I was a combination of hands, tongues, and lips. I made her an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I quickly filled my palate. In the background, the permeation of hormones overtook Prince, and it became our new music, except after a few minutes in the recesses of my mind, I couldn't get you out of my mind. You see, no matter how many times she told me to smack it from the back and hit it like that, it wasn't show back I was hitting like that. And that made things rather complicated. I realized after tasting her that she would never be you, not even if there were a ripple in the fabric of time. I realized after tasting her that even 2 years later, Blue, you still have my heart, body, and mind. And I think of you often, just as I have so many times before.
Is entitled, She Said. Grandma's hands clapped in church on Sunday morning. Grandma's hands played the tambourine so well. Grandma's hands used to issue out a warning. She said, "Peace be still. Honor thy mother and father, respect thy neighbor, stay in a child's place, make eye contact, keep hands to self, don't be a coward, learn humility, count your blessings, help those in need. There's a lesson in being a fool, boy." I remember breakfast and cartoons, how she would pretend to laugh at the TV, she was really just watching me, my favorite babysitter. She never ran out of patience, hugs, and cookies, but her hands would run vapor rub over my chest while she tucked me in. Some nights, she sung a lullaby. She keeps a gospel grenade lodged in her throat, exploding a cappella symphonies. My granny is a soldier angel in training. She camouflages in lavender like an orchid. Her wardrobe is drenched with the effervescence of mothballs. She dresses her eczema with aloe vera. She keeps a dog, not for the company, but for the skeletons in her closet. She misses being a missus. She said, "The war amputated and buried 4 of her 8 appendages, transforming her from goddess to mortal. My granny is a non-venomous black widow. Every day she spins a web of prayers to the heavens to ensnare her blessings. Now she loves everything. And my grandmother never puts on a front because she has backbone. Taught me never to talk back, back down, backslide. Backwash would get you backhanded. Matter of fact, I still have flashbacks about how she would take me out back and give my backside a few backstrokes. But the same hands that tatted my assets would patch me up like the Cabbage Patch doll that guarded her rocking chair, that special place where she would backtrack. She said she was raised in backwoods, Mississippi, where black ornaments once dangled from trees, so she practiced keeping both feet on ground or be buried beneath it. This is why she keeps family sacred, nurturing every seed until she grew a garden in her heart and harvested every generation into a melting pot. And best believe her recipes are reciprocity. Imagine a world with no currency, no rich, no poor, no wars, because the whole village pitched in. She lives where you reap what you sow, and if it's broke, say so what? It's safe to assume my granny doesn't cry over lost heirlooms. She said, if it's obtainable, it's replaceable. Hold on to memories, but not every shade of gray needs to be your shadow. Be remote, don't channel pain. Change the station and watch life from a different view. You see, she went beyond changing diapers. She changed me. That's why I would be her hands when arthritis kidnaps the tightness in her grip, because she still pushes me. I would be her sight if her eyes succumb to blindness, because she still guides me. I would be her legs when her weary feet can't take another step, because she still moves me. And even when she sleeps eternally with both hands covered over her heart, she'll always touch me.